All right, here's a product I'm going to talk about that I have. I got them, and I like them. I really like them. They're sleek, they're small, and I'm not talking anything sexual. I'm talking about something that is something everybody uses, everybody wants. And they are Raycon earbuds. They're pretty damn cool. Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, not your roommates, your neighbors, your significant other, your kids, what they're listening to. You want to be what you're listening to. You know how you can Bluetooth onto somebody else's thing? You don't need to do that because everybody needs their own great pair of wireless earbuds. So before you drop hundreds of dollars on a pair, this is truthful. They are not expensive like that. You check out wireless earbuds from Raycon. You already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and that they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know. Now, their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet, with 6 hours of playtime. That's how I was as a kid. Seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. I know this, I have them, and I get that exact experience. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet, with no dangling wires or stems to distract anyone during video calls. This company was co-founded by Ray J and celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Melissa Etheridge, Brandy, J.R. Smith, Mike Tyson, and Rich the Kid. All of these people are obsessed with Raycons. And I don't mean obsessed like they're out of their minds. They just love them and they use them. So now's the time to get the latest and the greatest from Raycon. You get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Saget, which is spelled S-A-G-E-T. That's right. That's buyraycon.com/Saget for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/Saget. Hey, it's Bob of Bob Saget's Here For You. Bobby Saget. That's my name when I was a kid. My mother would go, Bobby, wake up, Bobby. It was like a haunted ghost, Felix the cat, kind of, I don't know, puppet voice. And I miss her. But here we are with an episode with a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a while. And I just like him so much. We met years ago. It's Jim Jefferies is on the show today. I got to tell you all the regular things. You look up at the top menu there. There's a phone number. You can call that number and leave a message. And I will pick days that I announce on Instagram stories and on Twitter that I'll be calling people. And then I'll be talking to you guys and see how you're doing. And any questions you have, you'll just tell me. And then I got guests that I just really enjoy. I enjoy this fucking podcast, and I cursed because I want to get ready for my friend because the convo will go there. So if you are 12 or 13, you probably curse a lot, but this will be a conversation that I would be just a little wary of if you are offended by any kind of language, because my friend Jim and I talk freely, not without guilt from my side, but he is courageous and brave and a very, very funny man and got a great heart. The other thing you do is rate, review, subscribe, follow this podcast. And there's there's also a YouTube page, which has nobody on it, but it's youtube.com/Bob Saget. And then you can see the Zoom. This is Zoom of this. A lot of production goes into this. And that's it. So here we go. I am about right now to bring in my friend Jim Jefferies. How are you? How the hell have you been?
I'm a big fan of the COVID, man. I'm not a big fan of people dying.
Right.
But it took me this pandemic to realize that I've been working for 20 years and I hadn't taken a break. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, and I'm enjoying the whole idea of, okay, well, I get what retirement is. I get what it might be. You know what I mean? Like, I always used to think, like, what would I do? There's enough to do to fix your house and to put new plasma TVs together. There's enough to potter around and actually do.
And shit breaks all day long.
Shit,
So,
and the human body. I've got like 4 doctor's appointments, and I'm not sick. I just have things that have to be cut out of my body. You know, like I have a wart in my thumb, and I have like a guy that keeps my hair in my head.
Your hair's been looking great, and I watched Intolerant literally right before we are doing this. I just finished it.
If you watch my specials from Intolerant backwards, it looks like I'm losing hair.
No, whatever you've done is fantastic. I take the keratin. I take those supplements, and I also take what's it called, Propecia.
I take Propecia. Yeah,
it's supposed to make you not as erect, but I don't know. I'm erect most of the day.
This is the thing: is it's meant to stop you having erections. So here, it's one of the perfect dilemmas in society. Do I have no hair and no one wants to fuck me, or do I have hair and I can't fuck anyone? It's a perfect dilemma. But you can. It's like it's science now. It's like back in the.
I miss you, Jim. I miss you. We gotta hang.
I miss you, Bob.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get fruity on you, but
it's the best. It's the best. And so, but now you got the blue tablet to counteract the prostate, because you know, like Propecia, you know what it was? The chemical in it, and there's been a few different stuff. It shrinks your prostate.
That's not saltpeter, right?
I don't know, but no, Propecia, right? It shrinks your prostate. And what
is that good? Well, you don't want an inflamed prostate.
You know, they used to give it to cancer patients. They used to give it with people with prostate cancer, and then they were taking it in conjunction with chemo, and they were keeping their hair. And people were like, "Oh, maybe this has a more important thing it can do than fixing people with cancer." And that's how Propecia came into our lives.
Well, but isn't it dangerous? Don't you get a hairy prostate if you're using Propecia? I mean,
I assumed my prostate was hairy already. And everyone talks about the prostate. How's your prostate? How's your prostate? I wouldn't miss it if it went away.
No, you would. You would. It's the base of the erection. You would be missing. It is. It starts there. At least it is with my fingers up there. But no, I don't do that. But what if you grew hair on your penis? You know.
I've got some shaft hairs. I got some hairs that I get the Manscaped machine out.
I do too, because we're doing a podcast. We get all free Manscaped products.
I got free Manscaping stuff. So what I do is I got some shaft hairs, right? I got a couple of wayward ones that are past halfway that are just a few strays.
Yeah, it's like you're climbing in a place that has like rock climbing and those little pegs along the way of the shaft. And
so the only way to get rid of those shaft hairs is to get an erection before you clipper them, because you can't clipper them off
no, it's flaccid. You're going to nick it bad.
So what I do is I watch a lot of porn, I get aroused, and I run into another room and I fix the hairs, because I'm a genius.
You are a genius. You said that a lot in Intolerant too, when you were talking about shitting your pants, and you sat there and acted it out in a horizontal position. It's smart to save the shitting and pissing bits for the end of the special.
Which it's a weird thing that like when you start doing comedy when you're very young, in like your late teens or early 20s or something, when I started doing it, you know, pooing and weeing jokes. Like Eddie Murphy does a whole thing about he wanted to be Richard Pryor, but he wanted to tell dirty jokes, but he was a teenager, and all he knew to talk about was like when you're taking a poo and a shit and a wee.
Yeah.
That's
how I started.
Thing. That's how you started, right? And so I've gone full circle. So 20 years on, I have a story about going on a date where I shit myself, and I'm like, it's none of this highbrow comedy I've ever done has ever mattered.
It's funny because Bill Cosby, you know, who must crack up at least 3 people a day in the lunchroom, he used to close. He used to look down, be angry that I was dirty, that people would use foul language, and of course in his life he executed it differently. But
no, he didn't. He never used foul language. Not that any of those women heard. They were asleep.
He had to talk him into the sleep. So I think I don't want to get into it, but I witnessed something once. But
until you fell asleep and wake up with a sore ass.
He did me. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And right when he finishes, he goes, "Hey, hey, hey." But what happened was he would close with 10 minutes of farting, and I was like, "Wait a minute." He's doing everything but cursing. I mean, it does cross the line. Some people don't like it. I used to get told ladies don't like, farting and shitting jokes.
Well, Seinfeld never swore in his comedy, and yet he had his sitcom was the edgiest sitcom of them all without swearing. So he did an episode that was completely about masturbation.
Yeah.
Yet he would never talk about masturbation on stage, or if he did, he would use euphemisms and metaphors. And so what I'm saying is that eventually when I get my NBC sitcom up and running, it's going to be very clean. And I'm just going to, I'm going to do the opposite of these clean comics where they make their sitcoms dirty.
Did you shoot a pilot yet of that show?
We were, I think, 6 days away from having everyone on set. We had the sets built. We were on the lot. We were all ready to go. I still have my clothes at the dry cleaners at NBC because they have a dry cleaners there, and I can't get back on the lot because my lot pass has been expired because I haven't been there for so long. So I have a lot of clothes still on the NBC lot. But no, we never got to film it. We had the full cast. We had like Anthony LaPaglia was playing my dad, and Betsy Brandt was playing my ex, who from Breaking Bad and all that sort of stuff. Like we had a full, like the person I feel most sorry for is because we had to let the cast go, and if the sitcom gets picked back up and we get in the next season or whatever, I can bring all the cast back. We had a kid who was like 5 who played my son, who was having some reading problems, but now by the time we film, he's going to be like 9 or something.
Have you talked to him? Have you been in touch with him?
Well, I spoke to all the actors, but I haven't spoken to the child, no. But hopefully we can get him back as well. He was adorable, this kid. But
he's got time to learn the stuff.
Yeah, he's got time to learn all this stuff. Yeah, but it's like it was heartbreaking, to be honest with you. When they said we can't do it because of the COVID, I thought it'd be like a month or 2, whatever. That's the thing that I've probably been pissed off the most about COVID. But as I said earlier, I've enjoyed the COVID. So heaven forbid I get upset because my network sitcom didn't work out where there's people who can't pay their bills. You know what I mean? So I'm not complaining. I'm not like Ellen working out in a house calling it a jail. Now let me ask you, Bob.
Thoughts and prayers.
You know Ellen quite well.
She opened for me in New Orleans when she was like 19 and I was like 23, and she was the sweetest person. And my encounters with her over the years were nice, but I was never on her show.
This thing is, so we did the Jim Jefferies show, and maybe 5% of the staff didn't like me because you're the boss and they just don't like you. Right?
I did your show and you were very nice. You couldn't have
95% of the 95% of the staff liked me, 5% didn't. And I think that's an average workplace. So they're saying that they employed over 1,000 people on the Ellen show, and there's about 50 people who've come forward. That seems about on par for people who are pissed off with their boss. And all the stories seem a little bit like, she made me chew gum before I came to the office. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I haven't heard good stories. I haven't heard good stories about it. Everyone always says Ellen was mean or whatever, but I'm not willing to cast the woman away just on a hearsay.
I've heard negative stuff, but this whole fucking world is one giant TMZ. That's all it is. I don't hear anybody saying how great somebody is. Yeah. You might say it about Brad Pitt or George Clooney. You hear that
Brad's the nicest guy in the world.
He's an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy. That's the truth.
Don't know about George.
Oh, he's the nicest guy. They're both, when the tree opens up and someone like Tom Hanks has the brilliance of work and success, I'm like, fucking great. It's like there's some kind of justice. But you're a very nice person. I mean,
I'm all right, but you wouldn't want to come into my office late at night and
I looked up. It's funny. I looked up intolerant, and it says I looked up at your Wikipedia, and my stuff on Wikipedia is such bullshit too. And yours was like subjects, alcoholism. It just kept saying alcoholism, which was quite charming.
I've told a few jokes about drinking, a few, and now it's like you become synonymous with something, don't you?
Yeah, it's like me. It's like, oh, TV's dad is dirty, and that's like
that was the thing is when I first met you, because everyone had told me about, I always knew you as a dirty comic because I never really watched Full House and I didn't ever watch your stand up. And everyone's like, he's really dirty. And I'm like, oh, I know. And then it's like, what's the big issue? That's why I've always thought with my career, I've always used you as a reference. So every time I try to do something mainstream and they go, oh, but you say cunt so much, I'll go, but Bob Saget.
I don't say cunt.
Saget.
I actually don't say it. I think I've said it now, and I've said it 2 other times, but it's a normal word when you watch Ricky Gervais. It's just part of the vernacular.
I'll tell you what, Whitney Cummings asked me once on a podcast is what's more offensive, bitch or cunt, right? Bitch is more offensive than cunt. And you wouldn't think that it is. And the difference
because one's a noun?
No. It's because one can be used friendly and one can never be used friendly, right? So
right.
Cunt can be used friendly. You go, oh, he's a good cunt, him. You ever met this cunt? This cunt's all right. I like
right,
this
you don't
cunt.
hear that. There's no opposite day on that word.
Right, but you go, oh, I like this cunt. This cunt's all right, this cunt, right? But you can never do it with bitch. You can never go, you met this bitch? This bitch is all right. I like this bitch.
Well, hey, I love this bitch. You're my bitch, right? Those are things, though you can't say that anymore.
No, you can't go.
It's all gone.
You go, this cunt's a good friend of mine. This bitch is a good friend of mine. You can't say it. Cunt is a much more endearing word than bitch.
It depends, because some people are so offended by the word, you know.
Oh.
They're both offensive words. I mean, one means
offensive words.
Yeah, I'm preaching to my own choir, you know. I mean, I don't know how. I want to do stand-up. I'm actually going to go out and do it somewhere. Tom Papa called me and said, you want to go up in some studio with 15 people in it? And I went, you know, I do. I'm just going to go do it, and I'll be safe.
Well, I'll do that. It's because, you know, I had a whole new show written, and I just started a new tour, and then we stopped in February, and I was about 5 acts, gigs in, and my opening 20 minutes was all about the bushfires in Australia that happened in January, and that feels like it's years ago now.
Yeah. It's
to me, like, oh, the koalas are dying, oh, the bushfires and global warming. I was talking about, who gives a fuck about global warming or anything? You know what I mean? Like, we still have to, of course.
Right.
But I'm just saying that it feels like a lifetime ago that we would do something.
And locusts are coming. We haven't had them yet because it's the end of days.
I wouldn't, look, if the world's ending, I'm down. I'm all right with that. Even with my children.
It's like Dr. Strangelove. You're just sitting on the bomb, just laughing.
I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be cool to be in the last group? There's been so many groups before us. Wouldn't it be cool to be in the last group that just watches it all burn, and even hold your children and go, all right, peace out? Like, I think it's pretty cool.
I don't think you're going to get that lucky. I don't want that to happen with you have one child, right?
One child at the moment, yeah.
How old is he now?
7.
And I have 3 daughters that are grown, and I'm worried about the world that they're coming into, you know?
But they're already grown.
Yeah, but it's still difficult, you know? 2 are in New York.
When as a parent do you stop worrying? I
think death, when you die.
Yeah, you never stop worrying, do you?
No.
Even when they're old, you don't stop worrying.
Worrying is I like to call it concern, because worrying means neurosis, and, you know, that shit doesn't help anybody. You can't sleep at night, and then they pushes them away, and you don't want to do that. Does your son like you better or his mom?
He likes me better at the moment, but that took 5 years before that kicked in. I never thought that would happen. Then one day I just became the favorite, and then I always craved being the favorite with my son. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, fuck, this is a lot of responsibility. Because everything you do, he wants to sit next to you, and everything. Oh, Dad, come and do this. Dad, come and do that. Dad, you know what I mean? It's like it's a lot. It's
hard to not take, but when you get that much love from a child, it's hard to not feel honored. Though then you're going like, oh fuck, I am melting.
You feel honored, but you also feel like a fraud. My son turns to me and goes, "Dad, you're the greatest person on earth. There's nothing." He
hasn't seen your work.
He goes, there's nothing wrong with you in any way. No one's better than you. And I'm like, oh, you don't know me.
Kid, I got 4 specials for you to watch. You did. Well, tell me real quick. Tell me about the podcast. It's about you're learning stuff.
The podcast is called I Don't Know About That. And the idea behind the podcast is simple, is before the internet, you used to have people in bars that were know-it-alls, the Cliff Clavins of this world, where you said something and they just rattled off information and you had no way of proving them wrong. And now there's an argument with the internet that we don't even have to go to school. There's no point remembering anything. As long as you learn to read and write, then you're off to the races. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wanted to do a podcast where we bring a specialist on, and they're a specialist in a subject, whether it be a certain country or there be a certain food or something basic like that. And then I will tell you everything I know about this particular subject, and then they will grade me and tell me what I did wrong. And so it's what it is. It's a podcast which is life before the internet, where you just had to go. And also the term I don't know about that comes from every time I argue with my father and I bring up a point that he can't argue against, he goes, I don't know about that. And then he just walks away. And it's like, I can't win an argument.
No, that's how you win.
That's how you win.
That's like high school. About that.
It's not saying that you're wrong. It's not saying that I'm right. It's saying that I don't know, but I'd have to do more research and you have to leave me alone right now.
I'm just not even going to engage. You're fucked if someone doesn't want to engage.
Yeah, so we do a different subject every week, and it's been like, we did one episode that was cheese. We did one episode that was Saudi Arabia. We did an episode recently with Jay Leno, which was obviously cars.
I heard some of that, yeah. Oh, you know what I could do? I could do parenting, because I didn't know I was good at it, even though I did it on TV. That doesn't mean usually people that parent on TV are shit fathers. I don't know if that's usual, but, they just work. But because my daughters are such amazing people and what great young women they've become, that's how I think I know stuff about it. So I could be good at that.
But maybe your ex-wife was a great parent, and they could have even been better.
She still is, but I offer, there's times where they like me better because daughters and their moms go through phases where they don't get along. And so
why do they like you better? What is so wonderful about you?
Money, pretty much money.
Oh, money.
Speaking of money, we're going to go to probably a ball hair trimmer real quick. We're going to go to some wonderful sponsor real fast. Okay, I say this a lot, but I'm telling you something. I'm going to talk about Helix Sleep. I'm going to talk about a mattress that is really good, and I'll let you know how good this thing is. My daughter needed a mattress. I got her a Helix Sleep mattress. I was able to get it for her through the website, and it's exactly fit for her, made for her, specified for her. It is the perfect online purchase I think I've ever made, because half the other stuff I return. And she loves it. She's been sleeping better. She's really happy. She's 31 years old, and stay away from her. So let me tell you about this thing. This is an amazing product. I'm not kidding. If you're not able to sleep because of today's politics, your love life, any other drama that you got, whatever it is, you got a mole in your back that won't go away. You lay on the mole and it hurts. This is going to solve this problem. If you're sleeping on a terrible mattress before Helix, this is important because I get to put you people to sleep in the good way, not like a vet would, when your dog, well, never mind. I'm just saying there's all kinds of problems we have. I always had a stiff neck. My daughter always had a stiff neck. She's a yoga person. She knows so much about the human body. And one of the things you need to know is you need a good mattress, or you really can throw yourself out of whack. Helix Sleep makes personalized mattresses made right here in America and shipped straight to your door with free no-contact delivery, which is true, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. That is 100 nights you get. Not business days, but 100 in a row. And you can try this thing out. And if you don't like it, you don't keep it. To choose a mattress, Helix made a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. So if you like a mattress that's really soft or firm, and I like things that are soft and firm, wait a minute. You sleep on your side or your back or your stomach, or you sleep really hot, who doesn't? With Helix, there is a specific mattress for each and everybody's unique taste. I took the quiz, and I took it for my daughter, and she was matched with exactly the Helix mattress she wanted. because she wanted something that felt medium, and she slept on her side a lot, but sometimes she was on her back. This is what she told me. I haven't seen her sleep since she was 4. She moves around all night, but then she lays there and doesn't move. So you need a mattress that can handle that. She loves it. I'm being totally honest. I'd put her on this, but this ain't her show. And, she's rested better. She's tried other brands. She had another mattress that was supposed to be a great one. It just wasn't as good. Delivery was really great. They brought it, no contact, brought it to her apartment building, and it was simple. And she's recommended it to people. She really loves Helix. And you don't need to take my word for it or her word for it, because Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ, Wired Magazine, and Apartment Therapy. That's a magazine, by the way. That's not something you get in your apartment. So just go to helixsleep.com/Bob. That's right, my name, B-O-B. helixsleep.com/Bob. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life until the very end. I mean, that's not sleep. Anyway, all I'm saying is this is a great, great mattress. I could not recommend it more highly. All I have left to tell you is they have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. You really will. And right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders. I'm going to repeat that because I can't believe I said it. Get up to $200 off all mattress orders right now at helixsleep.com/Bob. Get up to $200 off. I'm saying it again. Get up to $200 off at helixsleep.com/Bob. And I'm sorry this wasn't a longer ad. All right, here's a product I'm going to talk about that I have. I got them, and I like them. I really like them. They're sleek, they're small, and I'm not talking anything sexual. I'm talking about something that is something everybody uses, everybody wants. And they are Raycon earbuds. They're pretty damn cool. Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, not your roommates, your neighbors, your significant other, your kids, what they're listening to. You want to be what you're listening to. You know how you can Bluetooth onto somebody else's thing? You don't need to do that, because everybody needs their own great pair of wireless earbuds. So before you drop hundreds of dollars on a pair, this is truthful. They are not expensive like that. You check out wireless earbuds from Raycon. You already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and that they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know. Now, their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet, with 6 hours of playtime. That's how I was as a kid. Seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. I know this, I have them, and I get that exact experience. Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable, perfect for conference calls or binging podcasts like mine, which goes on for weeks pretty much. What makes Raycon wireless earbuds a game changer for you? Are you asking that? Because you always say game changer. Well, I'll tell you, unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet, with no dangling wires or stems to distract anyone during video calls. Don't you hate that if you're on a video call and you got little antennae coming out of your head and you look like a cricket? You don't want that. This company was co-founded by Ray J and celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Melissa Etheridge, Brandy, J.R. Smith, Mike Tyson, and Rich the Kid. All of these people are obsessed with Raycons. And I don't mean obsessed like they're out of their minds. They just love them and they use them. So now's the time to get the latest and the greatest from Raycon. You get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Saget, which is spelled S-A-G-E-T. That's right. That's buyraycon.com/Saget for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. buyraycon.com/Saget. If you didn't hear me those 3 times, it's buyraycon.com/Saget. You'll be happy. Your ears will thank me. So, okay, now people might wonder, I mean, we've talked a lot over the years. I mean, I was on Legit, which was a really fun thing for me to do.
You were on an episode of Legit, which was one of my favorite episodes. Which I can't believe it didn't get more airplay. But the other cameo was
Carrie Fisher.
And Carrie Fisher played an executive, and and I'm not going to give away too much because I don't want to get caught up in the whole Me Too movement or whatever. But it came from a storyline that I had in my own personal life, where I was ever so slightly Me Too'd by an executive, right? And so Carrie Fisher played an executive, a female executive, obviously, who, well, you don't know. But anyway, who asked me to lick her pussy so I could get an overall deal for TV networks. And then I came to you, Bob Saget, and said, hey, this woman asked me to lick her pussy. What should I do? And you said, well, I did it. And he goes, it was a long time ago then. I had 2 hit TV shows. That was the
Correct. That is what I said. And I think Chris Case, our friend, I got to punch it up a little bit. And I think maybe I came up with that line. I'm not sure. But I got to spend some time, as you did, with Carrie Fisher, who was just wonderful. She was so cool.
She was the coolest. Okay, so I'll tell you a quick Carrie Fisher story. So me and Carrie Fisher, we're sitting in makeup, and the night before I'd done, or maybe a couple of months ago, I'd done Jimmy Kimmel, right? And I told a story about how my mother got, what's that thing that used to get in your veins when you traveled? What's it called? When you get blood clots in your legs. Deep vein thrombosis, right?
Well, I didn't know that one, so I'm glad you told me.
My mother got deep vein thrombosis on a luxury cruise, right? Which meant...
Sorry. It's just... Yeah, so the veins get big and you can have clots in your legs.
It's a condition that happens when people travel in economy and they sit still for too long.
Right.
And it doesn't happen in business class because their legs clot because they haven't moved.
A friend of mine got a blood clot, a comedian friend of mine got a blood clot in his leg from exactly that, for a long flight without moving and delays and stuff like that.
And my mother got that in a luxury cruise. You got to put that in context. You
got to take the word luxury out of that.
All cruises. She had a flat bed, right? She got it. Anyway, so I tell this story on Kimmel. I go, my mother had got deep vein thrombosis on a luxury cruise, whatever, right? So the next day, my mother rings me up and she goes, you have to go back on the Jimmy Kimmel show and tell America that you're a liar. And I said, why? And she goes, I didn't get it on the luxury cruise. I got it at home. I got diagnosed on the cruise, right? So my mother got it at home, went on the cruise, got diagnosed. So I went, all right, I'll go back on the show and tell everyone I'm a liar, right? So my mother had just rung me up, and I'm sitting next to Carrie Fisher in the makeup chair, and I said, I told the story. I'm my mother in the cruise and all that type of stuff, and the deep vein thrombosis. And Carrie Fisher just looks at me and she goes, oh, my mother and your mother sound like they're exactly the same person. Every time I mention my mother on TV, she rings me up and says that I've said the wrong thing. And I went, whoa, Carrie, settle down. Please don't compare my mother to Debbie Reynolds or your stepmother, Elizabeth Taylor. I don't know which one we're talking about right now.
Well, Debbie Reynolds played Albert Brooks' mother in a movie and played that same exact character.
I saw that movie.
It was
Albert
good.
Brooks. Where's Albert Brooks? Is he dead? Where's his movie?
He's great. We need a movie from him. He's acting when he can act again. I just saw him recently. I was present on the Carl Reiner Memorial, and Albert spoke, and he was quite brilliant. He actually said, I'm thrown because I thought this was a funeral for Carl Malden. I didn't realize it was Carl Reiner. And then he got very emotional because Carl Reiner saw Albert, whose name used to be Albert Einstein, at 16 years old, and said that Bob Einstein was Albert's brother. And Super Dave.
Wait, you lost me. Carl Reiner
was close.
Who was called Albert Einstein?
Albert Brooks's real name was Albert Einstein.
I'll get the fuck out of here.
His father was a comedian. And his two sons were Bob Einstein and Albert Einstein, who became Albert Brooks. And they both Bob and Albert, immensely funny. Albert, arguably one of the funnier people that it's ever lived, and Bob too. I mean, it's a very interesting family, but you don't call your kid Albert Einstein.
Just coincidentally, my real name is Crocodile Dundee, and we had to change it after the movie for my stand-up career.
Mine is Dickhead Analwort, and I changed it because you know what? Just up on the marquee, nobody came to the show. I mean, and then in Vegas it would say, doubles on craps right underneath that, so people were confused.
So Jim Jefferies, my real name is Jeffrey James Nugent, and so I was
like Ted Nugent.
Yeah, like Ted Nugent. My real surname's Nugent. Yeah, and which Nugent was a really uncommon name in Australia. And then I thought, and I had this is a weird thing. I had a promising musical theater opera singing career in my late teens that I was going to do or something. That's what I was studying to do, And so I started doing stand-up comedy, and I went on stage as Jeffrey with a G, Geoffrey, Jeffrey J. And I went up, and the first time I did stand-up, and when I walked on stage, they introduced me as Godfrey Nugent. And they went, please welcome the comedy styles of Godfrey Nugent.
How old were you?
I was 19, And so I went up and I thought, I better change this. And so I changed it to Jim Jefferies.
That's a great name. You got a great name.
Jeffrey James for a while, then I changed it to Jim Jefferies. And now it's a weird thing when you change your name that it just becomes like part of you. It's been part of me for so long. And it's like the only people who still call me Jeffrey with a G is my father and one of my brothers. The other brother doesn't call me that anymore.
My mother was like your mother, exactly the same. And from watching your specials, knowing your comedy anyway, it's the same thing. My mother would say, "Stop it, Bobby, stop that." And the more she would tell me not to do something, obviously the kind of people we are, especially as teenagers, you could take it to another level. And my dad liked it. My dad would smirk and egg me on with perverted type of humor. He was very, very weird. Really weird.
Well, my mother, she's passed away now, but my mother.
Your mom just passed away?
Yeah, my mother.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No, my mother died a bit over a year ago now.
How old was she?
78.
That's young. I mean, that's young now.
Yeah.
Was it the veins in the legs?
It was. She had polio as a kid, but the real reason my mother didn't die, she didn't move from the age of 40 to the age of 70. She just laid in a lazy boy recliner watching TV. And I tell you what, I used to mock her about it. I used to say, "Why did you do that? Why didn't you put more effort into it?" And now with COVID, I get the appeal of that. I'm not saying you should do that, but I get the appeal of just going, I'm just going to settle back and watch some telly, man.
I've been doing it, and I've been catching up on things I wanted to. And my wife's out of town right now, which I don't like. But you're single, right? Or are you?
No. I got a beautiful girlfriend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you send me pictures? Do you have any picture, or it didn't happen?
We were meant to be going to dinner, my girlfriend and me and you and your wife, like 2 days after the lockdown.
Exactly. We were literally texting to do that. So maybe we'll do a socially distanced thing that's like not terrible, because I don't know. I've tried it a couple times.
I'm at the stage now where I'm okay with if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to do anything reckless, like go to a concert or anything like that. But
right.
I'm going to see friends. I think I had it in February.
A lot of people say that, but did you lose your sense of taste and smell?
Did I ever have great taste and smell?
Maybe not. You've been numbing it for a very long time.
Yeah. Did anyone like? Let's be honest. From 2000 to 2011, everything tastes like cocaine.
Well, that numbs. Yeah, it numbs your mouth. Maybe cocaine is what could cure this. You could cure the COVID with the cocaine. I mean, it's
imagine if they found that out though. If they found out now that all the cokeheads and the smokers were the only ones living, and because I've been waiting for that with cigarettes for years. It's like, okay, so weed, everyone don't smoke weed, and then or there's all these medicinal things, right? Alcohol, your doctor's never gone to you, have a few more drinks, right? That's never happened.
Right.
I'm just waiting for cocaine to just like, we've found something good about it. You know,
maybe it would have been good if the bats had snorted it originally.
I've always thought this was cigarettes, right? Where as soon as I came into some money, it's like people was like, you smell and it's disgusting and it costs too much money. What I want to happen with cigarettes is this. I want them to find out that cigarettes are really good for you, but it's like $500 a packet. So that when you're in a bar and you're smoking it, women will be like, ooh, someone cares about their health. You know, like
well, it is. They are expensive now. They're getting more expensive, but not like, I mean, cocaine, if they found out that it cured COVID, I mean, they'd have to stop the border wall. You got to get people across the border because they would have to legalize cocaine.
Yeah.
And it would have to be pure. It couldn't be cut with baby laxative because that just gave me diarrhea in the early 80s for that 1 year I did it.
I know you only did it for 1 year. I imagine.
But I never, it was the whole year.
I imagine you and Stamos and.
No, that was one time at Full House. We were in the prop room and they were going to have a birthday party for Michelle, you know, the little girl on the show. And there were all these cans of whipped cream. So I locked the door and got Coulier and Stamos to take nitrous with me from the Ready Whip cans because we were so bored because we had so little to do in the episode. And this is a terrible thing to admit, but I put it in a book I wrote, Dirty Daddy, which I couldn't name it that now. Everything's, you know, you can't. It was a stupid thing to do. People do that. They do whippets, they do nitrous, and it can cause brain damage. The punchline was when they finally brought out Michelle's birthday cake with all the little 6-year-old kids, and they went to put the whipped cream. There was no whipped cream because we removed all the fumes. So
can whippets cause real trouble?
Yes, cause brain damage. Nitrous oxide in the dentist office. If you use it and you turn it way up, you literally can have a brain hemorrhage of sorts.
Look how nice my teeth are to go along with the brain damage.
They won't let me have it at the dentist office. They know their customers. Yeah. I'm like, come on, just for the teeth cleaning. It hurts. And they go, well, it doesn't hurt that bad.
No. I won't go to the dentist without it. I hate the dentist. I can't do it.
Yeah. I like a man in my mouth.
Who doesn't? But like
right.
With a drill?
Well, I like the idea that he's drilling me and filling my holes. God, it's quiet here. It's so quiet.
TV's dead, man.
Oh, it's over. Dead. It's all over. You did in your special before. I don't turn into interview. I talk and I just have convo with what I was thinking about because I just caught up on you real quick because I wanted to because it's like it and I realize how great a stand-up you are. You really are.
Thank you, Bob. That's very sweet.
Because you're telling stories, and it's who you are. And I try to do the same thing. And I had a similar experience to you in that I was ready to do a new special. And I had to cancel Canada the night before because it was happening. It was all happening. And Vancouver, we're still doing the show. But then I wouldn't have gotten out of Canada. I closed Calgary for performances, everything. So, but I have a new hour and a half of stuff, new music, new stand-up, and a lot of it, like you were saying before about the fires, it's just not relevant.
Yeah, it's not even that it's not relevant. It's like you can have jokes that are still relevant, but it's like I feel like you have to speak. If you come out and do stand-up right now, you have to speak to what has happened for 20, 30 minutes. You can't just go, what's the deal with blah, blah, blah. You have to sort of talk about what's happening in the world right now. And I don't have any material on this right now. It's like what's happening in the world has been really what's happened in this house. I haven't really ventured out or anything like that.
But that's a lot of people's experience. So what we talk about is what's shared experience for people.
I know, but isn't it our shared experience? Our shared experience is being in fairly nice houses, watching TV, fucking chilling out with our beautiful girlfriend. We're not worried about our jobs, just going, oh, this sucks, right? There's people who, how do you speak to the people who have lost their jobs.
I've been talking to him doing this podcast. I've been able to talk to people in a very interesting way because I've become more empathetic than I've ever been. And when I see, the president not being empathetic for people,
he's not at all empathetic.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that quality. You had a very prophetic bit about him in your previous special. What's the name of that one?
That was Freedom. Was that
right?
One? That was 2 specials ago. Yeah.
Oh, yes. It wasn't this one yes. And it was an amazing. It's on your website. It's a 6-7 minute bit about Donald Trump, and it hasn't changed. And it's all the same person that needed love and never got it, or we'd have a different person.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things in our society that maybe it's the only politician that's ever come into our lives where, and I've lived in different countries, I live in Britain and Australia. He's the only politician that, with him being voted in, my life has actually changed in a dramatic way.
Yeah.
Where the other politicians, maybe I paid more taxes, maybe I didn't do this, maybe this was harder, maybe that was easier. But that's the only one where I'm like, fuck me, the world's like completely different.
It's so separated. That's when I started to do more and more stand up, and I was talking about the racial stuff I went through when I was a kid in Norfolk, Virginia, and was persecuted for being Jewish. Hello, Jim. Are you still there? No.
I'm with you. I thought you were about to tell me about how hard it was as a young black man.
Well, no, but I know what it's like to be persecuted, but I don't know what that's like. I don't feel that pain, but I feel it. I do feel that's a thing. I do feel it because I don't feel that way about other people. You're not like that either. So we're dealing with someone that says dishonest things. I threw that pitch. I'm not going to throw the pitch at the baseball game. That little lie, just there, that's enough to go, I don't want that person running my country. I don't want that. That's a liar.
My father likes Trump, but Trump.
I know a lot of people that like him, and like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to argue with him.
Again, Trump says something where even my dad goes, like the disinfectant into the veins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When my dad went, he was just joking. He was having a joke. And I'm like, he wasn't. He just fucking said something stupid.
Well, that's what's so Teflon about him is he can write it off as a joke. It's the kid that does something bad and then says, I was just kidding. I didn't mean anything by it. But, I get too upset about it all. And then once in a while he'll do something. I'm going to go, that was okay, I think. But now this whole thing about stopping the mail. So
my son's upset at the moment because he's getting rid of TikTok, and I hear that's got something to do with Fortnite, right? And my son came to me and he went, Dad, is Donald Trump going to get rid of Fortnite? And this is the first I've heard of it. And I'm like,
this hits him in the solar plexus.
Yeah, you're affecting 7-year-olds, man.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the kid that would be like Shirley Temple. You're a bad man, or or Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. You're a very bad wizard.
And I'm like, I don't know, son. And it was the first time he always thought I had all the answers. And then when he asked if Fortnite would continue and I didn't know, he's like, oh, God, we're really in mayhem right now. Dad doesn't know.
Well, I think he wants TikTok gone. One, because apparently there have been invasions virally by the Chinese people that made it. And now I hear those algorithms are out. But everything we fucking hear is hearsay. We don't get actual facts of what's really going on in the machine of TikTok. But I think it's that wonderful woman that imitates him. And she's traveled virally and been on shows now.
I haven't seen that. There's a woman who imitates him?
Oh, she's been on all the talk shows. She was on Jimmy Fallon and a bunch of stuff. And she's hilarious. She just takes his sound bites and she just voices them over and makes them as real as she can make them. Let me tell you who it is because I follow her. Oh, Sarah Cooper. There she is. But you nailed it a few years ago, and I love your bravery in it. The minute
Well,
I met you, I went.
We had with the Jim Jefferies show. You make a lot of enemies doing a political talk show or just giving opinions. Like years and years ago, if you did a show, it was like people could still rationalize that maybe they liked you, but they didn't like all of your opinions. Now you're so tied up in every single one of your opinions that people are like, I hate this person. This person's right. We're so divided. It's crazy right now.
And PC is, I mean, people are still trying to get their minds through.
The PC-ness of it, I've just decided, just fuck it. I'll just say what I want. And then, if you get cancelled, you get cancelled. If you don't, you don't. It's fine. It's like, it's not a great, would you, in today's climate, become a stand-up comedian today? If you had the opportunity, or would
maybe because I have that gene, I have to do this.
I have the gene as well, but I think I would second guess maybe becoming like a writer or someone who's not as much in the limelight, or
I don't know. We're performers, though. We are. So I think the key for me, and it's probably applicable to you as well, we come out and go, I can't say anything, and we say that, and then it's the teeing up to your wonderful 6 minutes about the word cunt, and then the teeing out of it. I hope I didn't offend anyone who doesn't.
But this is the thing is I don't think there's anyone who goes in like, oh, this is going to offend a lot of people. We don't rub our hands together like that. I think there are moments in writing routines where you think, oh, this will rub a few people up the wrong way, which is a different thing. I don't really want to offend people. I'd like things to get traction.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Well, you have to be who you are. But
my plan's never to make someone at home feel really bad.
Exactly. My plan is not to dehumanize anybody. And women, I used to have more misogynistic stuff that I would talk about, but it was a joke because I'm not like that. On your last special, you said the answer. Well, no, it was actually the Trump thing. The answer to hate is love.
Yeah.
That's the answer. And that's what I've been saying, because it is. You can't hate upon hate. They don't cancel each other out.
Just hating someone who hates you isn't going to fix anything. Try to offer love back and see how it goes. Now, it's not always going to beat it. You're never going to... Love isn't a magical thing where you go, oh, I love you, and then all the world's problems end.
If everybody used hot oil... It does
a lot more than hate.
Hot oil. I think hot oil in the Senate... everybody body rubs. I think an orgy in the Senate. I think I'm going to run with this.
The problem with the orgy in the Senate is how many female senators are there? It's a lot of work for them.
No, I'm just talking about dude on dude. Just guys.
Gay orgy in the Senate. That's a winner.
By men that are already in denial anyway, because they're forcing themselves to believe everything that they have to do right now.
I would call that a filibust.
Yeah, you fill a bust. That's when you have a bust to fill, which is the name of my new movie, A Bust to Fill.
A Bust to Fill. Hey, I always thought it was funny did you ever, and I know I'm interviewing you now, did you like when Ned Flanders said, I don't need this dirty type of humor. I'll take Bob Saget. Thank you very much. When he said that, now obviously that was a joke about you being dirty in your TV thing like that. Did you see that as like someone trying to put a bit of hate on you, or did you think that was funny?
No, it was nice. Funny? It was nice because I know writers on there too, so it was coming. And I'm Homer's favorite comedian, so that's not helpful. And then when
You're Homer's favorite comedian.
Apparently, he was on one of the episodes, and then South Park.
Bob Saget, the greatest comedian of them all.
Look at
Bob Saget.
Do more of him.
I can do two impersonations. I can do Cliff Clavin and Homer Simpson because they're the same impersonation. So Homer Simpson, you go,
oh, look, Bob Saget, the sweetest Bob Saget of them all.
And then Cliff Clavin, you have to just increase the speed, right? You got to speed up. Yeah, Bob Saget was a great comedian. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about the Bob Saget.
That's amazing. You know what? We'll take one more break real quick because we have to, because there's more. Here comes another one. Hey, everybody. I'm going to talk to you about something now because that's what I do when I talk like this about things. But this is something that's really interesting, and I did not know about it, but I have wanted it. I have wanted to use it. And there's something called ExpressVPN, and that is a very interesting thing because it lets you access the internet as if you're from a different country. So it's pretty cool. I mean, for example, Netflix has different shows and movies available depending on where you are, right? It's different in different countries. You can't get the same stuff. But with ExpressVPN, you can unlock thousands of new shows and movies from streaming libraries around the globe. Think about that. You want to see stuff from another country, but you don't get it. You can't find it, or it's not the episodes. Sometimes they take them down on certain Netflix, on certain servers, on certain apps, and different companies take down their shows. You can get them because there are hundreds of VPNs out there, but ExpressVPN is ridiculously fast, and so am I. You can stream everything in HD quality with zero buffering, and I love zero buffering. I don't do it anymore because I can only file something down so much. ExpressVPN is available on every device, phones, laptops, tablets, even your TV. Now, you can use ExpressVPN to unlock content, because I knew you were going to ask that. How can I unlock content? Well, ExpressVPN works with many streaming services: Netflix, Amazon Prime, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, and many, many more. You can choose from almost 100 different countries. It's just so simple to use. You just fire up the ExpressVPN app, you change your location, you hit connect, and then refresh the page and the show or the movie you want to watch, and it will magically appear. And I'm just telling you, this is something that I've been waiting for. I really have. I'll be, even in Canada, I won't be able to access Netflix like I want to. I won't be able to access certain things from other countries that are carrying stuff, especially stuff that comes out of the UK, because I am such a fan of so many shows like that. This will help eliminate any of those issues, and it will get you to, if you're out of the country and you can't watch one of your favorite shows, you'll be able to do that. Or if one of your favorite shows, if the new Doctor Who is getting made and you want to be able to see it and it's not available here in America, the U.S., if you're in the U.S., you'll be able to get it. And if you use my link right now at expressvpn.com/Bob, you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. You heard me. I know you're confused. It's true. That's expressvpn.com/Bob. All right. That was a good break. That felt good.
I had a hell of a poo.
I could smell it from here. It's really weird. I didn't know Zoom.
It's in the valley. The valley keeps it. Where are you located in LA? Where are you?
I'm on the west side, not far from where fires start immediately. Other people live there, but fires are like, do you worry about that?
Well, the fires in Australia were so big and everyone was dying and then, all that type of stuff. And it was an ongoing thing, the fires. It was, it went for months and months and months. And I remember thinking, it's the end of the world. Nothing worse can happen.
So tragic to watch.
And we lost, I think, a third of the koala population, real devastating eco problems, And so my father came out and he stayed with me because I thought it was best that he wasn't out there. So I flew him out. And then, a couple of weeks later, I rang him up. I was sitting next to him and I said, Dad, how's the house going? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, what do you mean you don't know? He goes, I'm with you. You have as much. I go, you sure you haven't rung a neighbor? He's lived in the same house for 60 years and he hasn't fucking rung a fucking neighbor? They're not getting along yet?
It's funny. We talked years ago, and it was when you were doing Legit. And the conversation was, I had gone to Australia, and I was going there, and you were kind enough to tell people, hey, Bob's coming or something. You put it out on the Twitter. And I was really excited, and I loved it so much. And at that time, you're from there, and you weren't getting the recognition that you have now and you've had since. But
I had a weird thing.
It took you a while.
I had a weird thing with Australia because I did comedy in Australia for 2 years and was a nobody. and left to the UK. And then I did the UK, and then I built up a solid following where I was selling small theaters. And then HBO came from, I did the HBO special over here, and then I moved to America. And so Britain and America, I was doing theaters, and then I'd go back to Australia and do comedy clubs. And I never did one piece of Australian television, because I left after a couple of years. And now the biggest shows I've ever done are in Australia in the last 3 years. I did like the Rod Laver tennis, where they hold the Australian Open. I did the tennis arena where they did it, all that sort of stuff. And it's still
That's
weird.
amazing.
It's like, so I can sell 13,000 tickets in Melbourne to see me in Australia, but I'm still not mainstream famous over there. I'm more mainstream famous in America than I am in Australia, but I'll still sell more tickets in it. So it's like I'm this cult person or something. I don't know, but I think I always look at my career like this, like, okay, so it'll end, and so I think I'd be all right just being a drive time radio guy in Australia or something, or doing, you know what I mean?
Well, you could do one of the daytime shows too, but they'd probably take you off after you said something. But I loved, you were saying all I want to do. What was that?
I think I'd just like to be a radio guy.
But I loved Melbourne a lot. Like I fell in love with that town.
Well, you know what's happened in Melbourne, right?
No. Oh, okay, so COVID-wise?
So COVID's, the country was doing great. The country had less than 1,000 cases. It was all down. And if you flew into Australia, you had to have 2 weeks quarantine. They pick you up from the airport. They put you in a hotel. And security would stand around the hotel. Now, in every other state besides Victoria, which is where Melbourne is, they had the army around the buildings. So that all the tourists who came in for 2 weeks had the army. They couldn't escape, right? Until you came clean and blah, blah, blah. Now, in Victoria, the premier of the state, which is the equivalent of a governor, right? The governor of the state said, don't worry about the fucking army. I got a mate who's got a security company, and they'll take care of it. So he moved the security company over it. One of the security guys, right, saw all these women who were sitting around the hotels getting a bit fucking frisky. He fucked a couple of them, and then he took one of them out shopping for fucking clothes, and there's photos of him in the hot tub with a couple of them. Anyway, he took that back to his council estate. Now they're getting 700 new cases in Victoria a day, and the whole state has to shut down because one security guy wanted to get his end away.
Well, that's what we've got going in some of our cities here. I mean,
now, but this is the thing about Australia. I got to give Australia credit because you could write that guy off and say he killed a lot of people, but with Australians, we all went, we understood what he did there.
Yeah, right. Because he was taking care of it.
Just trying to get his dick wet. We get what happened.
I mean, so some lives are lost. I mean, at least he had a release.
Yeah, but they weren't lost for nothing.
No, he probably lost more sperm, tiny little things.
Millions of his sperm died. And only about
that's the point.
100 people have died. So
people do that? They always go, well, more people die from the flu. It's like more people die from, they name every other disease. So COVID's not that important. It's like, but I hear those comparisons all the time. It's like, well, millions of sperm died, so COVID's nothing.
Whataboutism is the worst, right?
Yeah.
I used to have a friend who was a comedian, and every time there was like they stopped smoking indoors. You're like, they've stopped smoking indoors, but children are dying in Africa, and you're like, we can be upset by both. Don't think
it's literally like comparing war wounds, or just like, oh, I got a scar. I had my appendix out. Oh, really? Look at this. I had a nut cut off. It's ridiculous. We should have pain for everybody who's hurting. I can't take it. I've kind of had it. I'm kind of up to here with people not caring. Say again?
Do you want to come over right now? We'll cook you dinner. You want to come over to my house right now?
Yeah, I'll stick my balls in a crock pot.
No, it's all right. Come over. Your wife's not there. We're about to have salmon. Do you want to come over?
Well, I'm tempted, to be honest with you.
What are you doing at home? You chatted to me. We were meant to podcast early in the afternoon. I said 6 p.m. and you went, sure. You have nothing on, Bob. You want to come over and have salmon?
Well, it's 7 o'clock, and but people are listening to this at a different time. But I get up tomorrow morning at 5:30 because I have a press tour.
For what?
For believe it or not, the podcast, because it's doing well and people want to talk to me about it. It's like
you have a press tour. I don't have a press tour for the I Don't Know About That podcast, which is available every Tuesday on any device that can download it.
They could get it on Apple, Spotify, everywhere where podcasts are. But I actually, I swear to God, I would come over. I would sit at a distance. I don't know if I'd come in. Would you be able to put me outside?
I'd let you come in. You look so clean.
I am incredibly clean. Look at me. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm like a whistle. I'm like a shaved mole rat.
Who would have the nicest looking cock, Dave Coulier or John Stamos?
Stamos. But the thing is, I didn't mean to answer so quick. Which of those two people would have that most hairless anus?
Oh, Dave Coulier, because he's blonde. Stamos would have a big Greek Amos, which would be covered in hair.
I've actually never seen it, but if it would be Greek, I know it's had. I thought that was yogurt. I wasn't sure. It was late, so you're gonna have salmon now. I'm around. My wife is not. I'm around. So if you're not doing nothing, I would drive over and.
I would have salmon.
I can't tonight because I really have to go to bed. I didn't sleep last night because I'm concerned about the world.
Tomorrow we're gonna have edibles and pizza.
Whoa! So it's not pepperoni. It's right on the. I'm not an edible guy. It's locked in syndrome for me. I feel like I am in a coma. I just can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I'm not meant for that. I don't know.
We can do heroin and cake.
I'm in. Heroin is. Actually,
it's the sleepy Moorish drug, the heroin.
I have never done heroin.
No, I haven't done the heroin.
No, I feel bad for people. That's what I feel bad for because I know people that have, and a couple of them are lucky to be alive. So it's weird. It's weird because I go from wanting to talk about my dick and putting things in people's butts to wanting to go, can't we think about, caring about each other? And those two, you can't wrap that up in a Hallmark card.
You're sounding very Ellen right now.
I'm looking more like her. I mean, totally. But is it, people always talk about kindness, but it's you can't, you have to do things. You have to just have a way of not approaching. I can't yell at the TV anymore. I can't be that person. I'm just, you do it during sporting events. I think the salmon's ready. I get a feeling that the salmon is ready.
There was a salmon ready.
Yes, salmon is ready. Well, Jim, I like you so much, and you don't have to respond with the same response.
Bob, dinner's ready whenever night you want, man.
All right,
you come whenever night you want. I'm serious.
I'm day after tomorrow.
All right.
Just don't put edibles in my food.
All the food's gonna be edible.
No matter what you give me, you're drugging me. And then it's like, oh, and what was in that punch? It was good. Oh, my piss. You just feed me all your excrement and drugs. And then I get in the car and I go off of Mulholland. Well, I'm sending you my best. Your podcast, say the name again.
I don't know about that.
And that's why I had to ask you because I didn't. And I could have some knowledge. We'll figure out what it is. Maybe things I can do with my penis. No, that's not a good one.
Figure out something you're an expert in.
Yeah.
And then you come on the show.
Okay. Well, come. Well, that just lost
You're
the
not an
list.
expert in cum. You're just well versed.
I am well versed. I'm a cumsmith. Well, I send you my best. I'm going to see you in like 2 days. So that's going to happen. So get ready for the text.
All right, mate. I adore you. I'm so happy to be on your podcast.
I'm so happy you're on, Jim. I think the world of you, man.
All right, mate.
I'll see you.
Yeah, bye.
All right. That was Jim Jefferies, who I'll be seeing shortly because I'll be going to his house, not tonight for the salmon, but I'll be going there for dinner pretty soon. I hope you enjoyed that. I love talking to him. He is a considerate, funny, And you really got to see his specials. Catch up on it if you haven't. They're really worth everything. And see him live. He's really awesome. I guess that's all I got. I want to thank you for listening or watching if you're one of those people. And I send you my best. I hope you're doing okay. I hope this made you feel good. Hope you got a couple laughs out of it. Hope I didn't offend anybody. But what am I going to do? Jim's right. Fuck it. What can I do? I got to just do what I do. And but I do care about people a lot. So, and you can't trust people that say that. Oh, I care about people a lot. I don't trust most people that say that. That's like we hear that from our leaders. I care about people more than anyone. That's dog cock. Dog cock I don't care about. Although I had a dog who had prostate cancer. His name was Alan. I cared about his because he was sick. But I'm sending a lot of good health wishes to everybody. Hope you're getting through this okay. And hope we get out of it sooner than later. And sending lots of love your way. All right, everybody. Talk to you next time on Bob Saget's Here For You.